Okay, so I have a boneless leg of a lamb, so you can get them with the bone in. If that's the case, just remove the bone or have your butcher do it. This is how it comes. It comes in this netting here, which we're going to remove because we want to marinate this before we actually cook it. So I'm just going to take off this butcher's net. First I want to remove a little of this fat. So it's kind of all balled up here. See this like globules of fat? That's all excess fat, so we don't need that to make it tasty. Use whatever tool seems right onto you. Get rid of that. So we're just removing some of the fat. We want some of it in there because fat is tasty. So this stuff is different from fat. This, when cooked, will just get really tough, and then you won't be able to chew through that. So we want, this is fat, and this is different than that. So silver skin, that's the word I'm looking for. Let me use one of these little handy-dandy bag holders. I'm gonna slip these in. You can get these on Amazon for pretty cheap, for a pack of like 8 or so. And this kind of gives us a few extra hands there. Alright, so our marinade starts off with, you need an oil and an acid and some seasonings. That's basically what a marinade is. So in this measuring cup, which is about 1 1/4, I have some red wine and a little leftover marsala. You could use, if you don't want to use wine, you could easily use balsamic vinegar or something like that. A red wine vinegar would be great. We've got olive oil, which we need 1/2 cup of olive oil. So I just have extra virgin. You could use regular. That's just what I have up here. I go through a lot of extra virgin olive oil. Slowly dripping. So we have the 1/2 cup of oil of your choice. I like olive oil. Okay, so we need a little S&P, salt and pepper. I have kosher salt. You could use sea salt in this, would be perfect. Cracked black pepper. I'm going to throw in 2 teaspoons of thyme. You can take the trouble to bring a measuring spoon out, or you could use the Lord's measuring spoon and put it right in there. That's about 1 teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons. Put our meat in untied, and then when this can sit in the fridge for a day or so, and then when we're ready to cook it and remove it from the marinade, I will tie it properly with butcher's twine. But right now it just needs to go in like this. Alright, so we're going to put this into the marinade. I'm going to get all the air out. Smell the vino. Close that up tightly and then let it get all in the nooks and crannies, because this is what's going to, the acid's going to start to sort of break down the lamb, and it's going to make it more tender. Didn't think about the fact that my dishwasher is running. Sorry about the noise, guys. Alright. So when it looks like this, you can just put it on a tray in your fridge for anywhere from 12 hours to a day or 2, and then we'll be ready to proceed from there. So this has been marinating for about 1.5 days, and I'm going to take it out of the bag now and dry it off with some paper towels. So just pat it dry. You don't need to rub, just pat dry. You still want to keep some of that flavor in there. As you can see, the shape, it kind of has this little head or neck here, a small part and a large part. I have some butcher string. You can't just use any string, it needs to be cotton so that it doesn't flame up in the oven. So think about how you want your piece to be rolled. We're going to put our roast on top and start tying our strings. So it's as simple as that, nothing fancy. Just into a double knot. And then later when we pull it out of the oven, we'll just snip that. and then you just give it a haircut. You use my hand here. And I've got a well-used half sheet pan, 18 by 13-ish, and then I have a cooling rack on top, and that'll allow some of the extra bits to drop down. But while I'm thinking about it, I am going to line the bottom of this with foil, just to kind of help with the cleanup later. Just going to go ahead and put some foil under the top like that. And we're going to transfer our roast. He's a happy lamb. And he's going to be ready to go. Now if you feel like you don't have enough marinade on here, you can take some olive oil and brush that. Just to give some nice browning. We're going to start the oven at a higher temperature, but at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, and then we will drop down the temperature to 350, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put the correct number on the screen, and cook it the rest of the way. So I've got the rack in the middle of the oven. Okay, I'm going to drop the temperature down to 350. And depending on how well or not well you want your meat to be cooked, you want to do it between 45 and 55 minutes extra time here, and then you want it to come out and sit for 15 minutes. So I'm going to be adding some Brussels sprouts here at some point in the next maybe 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes. I've just chopped them, sliced them in half, tossed them with salt and pepper, and some extra virgin olive oil, and then those are going to roast up. That's all I had for our family of 4, but I'm also going to serve some roasted potatoes as well, and that will make our whole meal, and it'll be nice and balanced. You have your starch, your green, and your meat. It's a two-man job. Oh, he's so pretty. Got a thermometer. Stick it into the most middle part. Alright, so supposedly it's cooked. Alright, so you just have to take off all the little doodads. Go at a slight angle rather than just going straight down, so a little bit of an angle. Nice and pink there. Nice and hot. Again, if you're afraid of the pink, you can just keep on cooking, but we're not afraid of a little pink. So that is our lamb roast. Alright, see you in the next video.